and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Chakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. I'm gonna do a quick lesson in the spirit, something that's been on my mental, actually for a while now, because whoever this applies to, apply it, including myself. I'm not excluding myself in this. I don't know what I want to call it, but it's going to be on the along the lines of, is it genuinely being quiet or secretly being bitter? Can you tell the difference? As you can see, I have James 3 up right now. As a matter of fact, before I get this started, let me just cover my ass real quick and bring out a precept. Keep it scriptural. Let me see if this is the right chapter. Ecclesiasticus 19. Yeah, 19 and 13. It says, admonish a friend, it may be he hath not done it, and if he have done it, that he do it no more. Verse 14, admonish thy friend, it may be he have not said it, and if he have, that he speak it not again. Just covering my own ass. Y'all brothers know you're spiritual, you're spiritual. If you can get it, you can get it. Not really directing this, just it was been on my spirit. That's it. Applies to me. I'm not excluding myself out of this. If this does not apply to you, take it with a grain of salt, or just consider it if you so please. If not, you can. I don't care. One ear out the other. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm just sending out the message. So with that being said, is it being genuinely quiet, or is it secretly bitter? All right. So this is James chapter 3 and 13. It says, who is wise, and I'm going to read this in another translation as well, just to bring further understanding. It says, James 3 and 13, who is wise, who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you, let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. I'm going to read it through. Verse 14, but if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. Verse 15, this wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. Verse 16, for where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. All right, verse 17, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Verse 18, and the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. All right. So again, are they just being quiet or secretly bitter? All right. And this scripture right here gives you the difference from being secretly bitter or just genuinely quiet. All right. A few things that come up to mind. If you're just genuinely quiet, you just may be taking a step back, maybe to observe better, maybe to become more spiritual, maybe to understand better, maybe to understand your role better, maybe also to be more efficient, you could say, with work output. It could be lessons. It could be just what you have going, your role or your office in the camp of what you are tasked to do. Something of that nature. Still communicate. You still speak when spoken to. You still contribute. All of these things. It just may be a little quiet. That's it. All right. But your presence is still felt. Your presence is still there. You're just quiet. And you're genuine. Bitter. Usually when an individual is bitter, they also get quiet. So this is how you distinguish. All right. And of course, hey, I already know I'm speaking to the choir. All right. But it just the spirit, my spirit just felt necessary to do this. If you're bitter or an individual is bitter, they're usually quiet too. All right. The script tells you how you can pinpoint a bitter individual by pattern. All right. So, verse 14, but if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie against the truth. This wisdom, meaning that bitterness, all right, because bitter is also a thought process, a wisdom that you conjure up your damn self, all right. So wisdom descendeth not from above. This wisdom, that bitterness, that doesn't come from the Lord, all right, but is earthly. This goes back to the classic script in Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not onto thine own understanding, because your own understanding is earthly. Okay? The understanding of the Lord is spiritual. Okay? So it says it's sensual and devilish. Okay, let's get this word sensual. Sensual in the Greek.
Strong's G 5591. Psuchikas. Psuchikas.
It says of or belonging to, breath, having the nature and characteristics of the breath, the principle of animal life. It says governed by breath, a sensuous nature with its subjection to appetite and passion. All right, so pretty much you can apply sensuality or being sensual as not being temperate. Okay, all right. It says because it's in subject to an appetite or passion. All right, temperance is actually controlling one's lust or desires, which a desire or lust can go into, a passion or a wanting. All right. So it says in devilish, simply just being demonic. All right. For where envying and strife is, there's confusion in every evil work. All right. So you're bringing forth a pattern. Okay. When someone is bitter, they're bringing forth a pattern that is opposite of verse 17. Let's reread 17. It says, but wisdom that is from above is first pure. So if they're bitter, they're being unpure. Then peaceable. If they're bitter, they're not being peaceful. Gentle. If they're bitter, they're being rough, not gentle. And easy to be entreated. All right, let's see this word entreated.
Strong's G 2138. Eupeithes. Eupeithes.
Easily compliant. That's a big one right there. If they're not being compliant or obeying, that's a pattern. Because if you're in a camp, you have a role, you have something to do. Everyone has to get put to work. It's facts. The scriptures say it. There's just very loosely paraphrasing. There's a lot of work to be done with the lack of laborers. Not everybody wants to do this job. Quite frankly, nobody wants to do this job. But you have a spirit in you to actually want to do this job. If they're not complying or obeying, then they're bitter. That is a good way to find bitterness in somebody. Okay, always make an excuse to not want to do something or something of that nature. Matter of fact, let's go to another script. I think it's First John. Is it First John 5? Yep. 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of the Most High for this is love. Salakia. 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So if someone is not complying or being compliant to certain tasks that have to be done, and they consider it grievous, they're bitter. For what? It could have came from just a disagreement or a curse out, or I don't fucking know, anything, that could have had triggered, that had been a catalyst to the bitterness. And Also, too, if let me just say this on a side mark, if you do have a disagreement, um, just give it time first, think about it. Next, if there's an opportunity that the Spirit presents for you to open up or talk to an individual, if you're spiritual, you'll see that opportunity, and then you'll take it. Okay, so you can talk to an individual. All right, simple. Okay, if you have any odds or any, don't force it. All right, things will open up. All right, and then you'll be able to express what you're expressing. Maybe there was a disagreement. Maybe there was something you weren't understanding on your end, or they weren't understanding on theirs. Simple, and then y'all hash it out. No need to be bitter. Just be patient. You can replace bitterness with patience. Okay, but if they're bitter, things start to become grievous to them. All right, I don't feel like doing this, that, and the third, whatever. It says, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality, all right, and without hypocrisy. So now let's read this in the CSB. Same book, same chapter, same verses. Just going to get a different view, a perspective on it. James 3:13, who among you is wise and understanding? By his conduct, he should show that his works are done in gentleness that comes from wisdom. Your conversation is what it was saying in the KJV. So your conduct will show that your works are gentle. So your conduct will show that you're just genuinely just being quiet. That's it. Not bitter, but it's just quiet. All right. This is verse 14. But if you have bitter envy and selfish ambition in your heart, don't boast and deny the truth. Okay. It says, such wisdom does not come from above, but is earthly and unspiritual, demonic. There's a good point right there. So if you can catch if you are a spiritual individual, you can catch unspirituality. Unspirituality is bitterness. All right? Unspirituality is bitterness. There's something happened. Something happened that has not been addressed, or hasn't been addressed within themselves. Because this lesson has been on my mental for months now. When and who to be vulnerable to. It's been on my mental for months now to do that lesson. I've mentioned me wanting to do this lesson in previous lessons before. If you watch my lessons. Who and when to be vulnerable. When to be vulnerable and who to be vulnerable. Sometimes you have to be vulnerable to yourself, meaning yourself in the Lord. Or sometimes you have to be vulnerable outwardly so you can get an opinion or an advice or something from somebody else. All right? Again, maybe the Spirit will help me to do that lesson, but for now, let's stick to this. All right? So it says, verse 15, such wisdom does not come from above, but is earthly. And if you're earthly, that means you're enmity. That's enmity to the Most High, because you're of the flesh. Unspiritual and demonic. That's why Yahushua had to say what he said to Peter. Get from me, Satan, because he was being demonic and unspiritual at that moment. It says, verse 16, for where there is envy and selfish ambition, there is disorder in every evil practice. And it will show. Disorderly, all right? Meaning you just don't want to be compliant, all right? So verse 17 says, but the wisdom from above is pure, then peace loving, okay? It says gentle and compliant, all right? Full of mercy and good fruits, unwavering and without pretense, all right? And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who cultivate peace. All right. So if you want peace, you would create peace. All right. And that may be in my next lesson that I may drop today or tomorrow. And I'm gonna name that. Are you saving a hoe or working with a wife? There's a difference. I'm gonna name that. I'm gonna drop that lesson. Because I've just been seeing the vibe going out about women, and I've purposely been quiet about it until I've collected my thoughts in understanding, watching other brothers' lessons. I watched the live from the Elder Prashai. He did one blaming. He named it, I think, like blaming not. Don't blame your woman slash something else. I had to find it. I watched a lesson from Bishop Atazawam. I watched a lesson from the Captain Gamal here in our camp. I watched the lesson from Apostle Gabar about women, things of that nature. It's been honing in on them, and I've just been collecting my thoughts about it. So I'll drop that coming up here soon. But for now, is it genuinely being quiet, or is it secretly bitterness? All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying, and whoever this applies to, apply it. Call a spade a spade. If the shoe fits, wear it. If it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. However, whatever analogy you want to take, if it does apply to you. If it doesn't, like I said in the beginning of this, it can go through one ear and out the other, or just consider it. Me personally, I'm just here sending a message. It was on my spirit. All right. So Lord willing, is edifying, giving all glory, honor, praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Chakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. To the next time we say shalom, and like always, repent, for Yahweh Shai is coming back sooner than what me and you believed. All right, shalom.